bees are looking for any enclosed space where they can make a hive, and you can find them anywhere. It's unbelievable, and they amaze me sometimes.
You mean the guy says, can I check your oil? The guy says, sure. They don't know. How do you know which one is the queen? You've got the little crown.
Why you bet your
Will
life?
you shut up? You see me talking to a Jew? All right, Dick, we're going to play You Bet Your Life. You want to look at the card? You know? If I didn't do that then, my mother would kill me. You've chosen the category food and drink, and your question is about favorite foods, and here is your list. According to a Roper poll, you know the Ropers? That's that family on television. Nearly a third of Americans polled said Chinese food, that's 1/3, said Chinese food was their favorite. Which of these types of food did they say were more a favorite than Chinese, and which were less? Your answer should be the word either more or less.
Your first question is worth $25.
American,
More.
That's correct for $25.
Mexican,
I'd say more.
That's incorrect, but you still have $25.
German,
Less.
That's correct. You now have $50.
Much less.
Hello everybody, Isaac, the B-Man to the stars. Tonight I am so excited, and this video means so much to me, and by the end of the speech that I'm going to give you, you're going to know why this video is so important to me. And for me to have anything to do with this video, I cannot even put into words how good I feel doing this classic musical, Fiddler on the Roof. Mr. Topol, who passed away, by the way, a couple of years ago. For me, it started in 1970 when I came to America at age 13 and a half from Iran. I went to a private boarding school named Dunn School, which I always say I owe a lot to because that's where I learned how to speak English and the American way of life. You know, coming from Iran in 1970, it was day and night. And to be honest with you, I didn't know what to do with all this freedom when I arrived. So here I am, and now I want to tell you why this video means so much to me. Bear with me. When I came to America, I was very excited, and I wanted to do American things, be involved with sports, with horses, animals, and theater. Dunn School was a private boarding school of 90 boy students and 10 day students that were girls. The boy students spent 9 months out of the year living at the school, and they would put on plays and they would do different theater and all kinds of stuff, dinners, dances, all of that, all to raise money for the school. Well, guess what? Dunn School had Fiddler on the Roof. They were selling tickets very fast. You gotta understand, the town that my private boarding school was in was Los Olivos, California, which is by Solvang. At that time, I think population was like 500 people or something like that. Beautiful town, but very small. People were buying tickets to come to Fiddler on the Roof and watch it. And I wanted to have any part that I could with that play. And you see, I couldn't do that because I was 14 years old and I didn't speak English well enough to be able to be in that play. And I offered to be an usher. I was the person that would take the tickets at the door and seat people at the assigned number seats that they had on their ticket. And for me, at this age, to be involved in any way with Fiddler on the Roof is so emotional for me that I am just besides myself, and we're going to get started in a minute. But I would like you to see who else is present to watch the video with us. Mr. Don Rickles. Mr. Buddy Hackett. And this one. Miss Elizabeth Taylor, my customer the last 15 years of her life. Thank you for sharing your time with us. Enjoy.
And how do we keep our balance? That I can tell you in one word. Tradition! Because of our traditions, we've kept our balance for many, many years. Here in Anatevka, we have traditions for everything. How to sleep, how to eat, how to work, how to wear clothes. For instance, we always keep our heads covered and always wear a little prayer shawl. This shows our constant devotion to God. You may ask, how did this tradition get started? I'll tell you. I don't know.
Mr. Topol, I know. You don't know where it started? I know. Well, 2,000 years ago, people used to live underground, and they had these retarded, old-fashioned, stupid traditions. And they have continued it on generation after generation. And you know, we live in a modern society where we have cell phones now, computers, believe it or not. They don't use a typewriter anymore. You may not know that. And some of the traditions that, you know, we inherited from 2,000 years ago need to go into this grinder, and I'll grind them down for you. Mr. Topol, I love you, but I don't believe in all your traditions. And don't tell anybody. In America, boys are marrying boys and girls are marrying girls. Don't tell anybody.
But it's a tradition. And because of our traditions, every one of us knows who he is and what God expects him to do.
So, Mr. Topol, everybody knows what God expects him to do? Don't make me laugh, please.
Day and night must scramble for a living, feed a wife and children, say his daily prayers, and who has the right, as master of the house, to have the final word at home? The Papa! The Papa! Tradition! The Papa! The Papa! Tradition! Who must know the way to make a proper home? A quiet home, a kosher home. Who must raise a family and run the home? So Papa's free to read the holy book. The mama, tradition. The mama, tradition. At 3 I started Hebrew school, at 10 I learned a trade. I hear they picked a bride for me, I hope she's pretty.
And who does Mama teach? To mend and tend and fix, preparing her to marry whoever Papa picks. The daughters, tradition.
The Papa, son, the daughters, tradition.
And in the circle of our little village, we've always had our special types. For instance, Yenter the matchmaker,
For your girl.
Reb Nachum the beggar, and most important of all, our beloved Rabbi.
Rabbi, may I ask you a question?
Certainly, Labish.
Is there a proper blessing for the Tsar?
A blessing for the Tsar, of course. May God bless and keep the Tsar far away from us. Certainly, Labish.
Is there a proper blessing for the Tsar?
A blessing for the Tsar, of course. May God bless and keep the Tsar far away from us.
And there are the others in our village. They make a much bigger circle. We don't bother them, and so far, they don't bother us. And among ourselves, we always get along perfectly well.
Of course, there was the time when he sold him a horse and told him it was only 6 years old, when it was really 12. But now, it's all over, and we all live in simple peace and harmony. It was really 12 years old.
It was 6.
Traditions, traditions. Without our traditions, our lives would be as shaky as as a fiddler on the roof. Traditions, traditions. Without our traditions, our lives would be as shaky as a fiddler on the roof.